Hi, I am Mikey Coffman, and I want to share with you why United Way is so very, very important in my life. Several years ago, I was raped, and I kept it to myself, and I was shattered by it, and I decided that there was no way to heal from it and survive, so I tried to commit suicide, and I found myself in intensive care and then in locked wards. This began my spiral down into mental illness. The more that I tried to survive, the worse it was getting. I was in and out of the hospital, on all type of medication, and in and out of locked wards. I thought this was going to be my life forever. There were those who said that I would spend the rest of my life in a mental institution. But this was not to be. One day I was in a locked ward, and a social worker came to visit me. I knew her from church, but I didn't know her personally. She sang in the choir. Her name was Lynn Stevens, and she's here today, and she saved my life. She took me into her life with her husband and her family, and they saw something that I couldn't see. All I could see was darkness and despair and hopelessness. They saw someone worth saving, and they poured all their energy into it. And by the hand, she took me out of that locked ward physically. I couldn't come out on my own. I was so down and so far out in space that I couldn't come back. She worked with me, but she knew I needed more services that she could provide. So I found myself at Friendship Center. Friendship Center is a United Way organization. It's a fabulous place. It's for people in mental health recovery. They meet you where you are. There I learned skills, independent living skills, how to manage the side effects of my medications. The side effects of psychotropic drugs are really, really severe. You have to learn to manage them. I learned that you had to put one foot in front of the other and walk on, and that I could get up and I could face the world. And with the doctors and the help and the counseling that I got there was hope for me more than I ever dreamed. One day I was tested and they found out that I was college material. Now I had married right out of high school, so I never went to college, and that was never going to be anything I would do. But they thought this would be great. Structure when you're mentally ill is absolutely imperative. Otherwise, you spend your life in your apartment watching rerun after rerun of Andy Griffin and Mr. Ed, thinking of ways to kill yourself and feeling lower by the day and getting more disconnected from the world. The more disconnected you are from the world, the harder it is to come back. Well, I decided that I would try the college, but I was afraid of everything. And I couldn't go to college because I was afraid. The answer to that was a service animal. I received the service animal. She was 9 pounds of love wrapped in fur. She wasn't a big dog. Gracie was wonderful. She opened worlds to me. This little dog gave me the strength, and she was brave, so I had to be brave. And we went to Augusta College, and it took us 9 years, but we got 2 degrees. I got one in social work and one in sociology. Thank you. She got one in fleas and a PhD in scratching. Well, we got our degrees, they were brand spanking new. Now what I needed was a job. And you can't get a job without experience, and without experience, you can't get a job. And I had no experience. I had been a homemaker for 30 years and had been out of circulation for 10 or 11 years. But United Way again came to my aid. They had another program, and it was called the VISTA. Vistas are volunteers in service to America. What they do is they take vistas and they place them in nonprofits, and they learn skills. Working skills. I learned to use the phones. I learned to do filing. I learned how to run an office. Most of all, I learned how to not have meltdowns when the copy machine eats your last piece of paper, and it was your boss's last report that he didn't make a copy of. And you're not allowed to swear like a soldier, and you're not supposed to cry. I learned that just like the paper can be retrieved from a copy machine. My 3 years as a Vista also gave me back my self-esteem, my self-worth, and my self-confidence. It also gave me something else. It gave me an opportunity for a job. As I was doing my internship as a Vista, the administrator for our friendship decided that she was going to retire. And I didn't know it, but I was being groomed for that position. So the last year of my Vista program under the Unite Way, I was taught all the ins and outs of running a business office in a nonprofit. I did well, I think, because I got 6 years behind me now. And most of all, what I have behind me is the thought that mental illness is a forever illness. It's not anymore like it used to be. You don't get chained to a wall somewhere, put in a padded cell, or sent to Milledgeville State Hospital or Augusta State Hospital. With the drugs that they give you now and in the care that you get from counselors and the things that they can do to help you get back, you can retrieve your mental health status. Just like that paper in the copier that had me crying, I could cry today when I look how far I've come on my mental health journey because of United Way. United Way isn't just an organization. It's not just a bunch of agencies, nor is it programs. United Way is people like me, that I get thrilled on April 15th when everybody is paying their income taxes and you can hear them not being too happy about it. I think it's a day of celebration. I get to pay taxes again. I have a job. I have an apartment. I pay taxes. I give back. They brought me back from the far side and put me as a productive member of society again. This was done because you all cared. This was done because you reached down and you signed your pledge forms and you reached out to other people and asked them to sign pledge forms. Without your help, I still would be in my apartment watching Mr. A reruns, or I wouldn't be here at all, which is probably more the truth. I asked you this campaign, when you're sending out your pledge forms and you're telling people about giving, that you don't tell them about the organization or the programs or the agencies. You tell them about people like me and that you are change makers. I am today happy and full of joy because of the United Way, changing me with programs and abilities and agencies that were available to help me with my mental illness. I will be forever grateful for the years that United Way has reached out and helped me and pushed me along, even when it was kicking and screaming sometimes. I didn't want to be where I was. I thank you all for the help that you give and the agencies that you represent. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart that I can stand on this stage today as a productive member of your society and look out and know that I succeeded in returning and coming back from the far side, and it's all because of you. Thank you so much.